Hey everyone, Agent Salinas here. This will be my project portfolio for our last week in class. And our very first week, our assignment was to create 3 scenes. The scenes had to contain a theme and be concurrent through all of them. So what I did here is I made a little character with a castle. Using the generic behaviors, I was able to implement some movement with my character. I used a tree, also used from one of the prefabs, and created the castle out of cubes and cylinders. One thing I was able to use pretty well for the generic behaviors was on collision. So on collision there we entered another scene, a loaded level. Here you see some other prefabs that were used. Biggest difficulty, of course, as you can see here, is the physics within my scene. I really wasn't able to grasp that yet. Through trial and error, I couldn't understand how to not knock everything over, how to not go through walls or through other characters. And here we have the last scene, a little courtyard. So this was a medieval scene that I was trying to express, and that was what I did for week 1. So in week 2 we were asked to make our own version of Pong, so that's what I have here queued up in my project folders from Unity. I started to get the hang of things a little bit. Here we see some movement. Also you can see some scoring happening, but for some reason I couldn't get the score to go up by 1. I could only get it to go up in 2s, which was very awkward. But I wanted to at least turn in a complete project, so I left it like that. Trying to get it to go up by 1 was giving me a lot of errors. I couldn't figure it out, but it was a learning process and it was fun. So it had here some movement to the to both Pong paddles. The ball reacts to the paddles, also reacts to the sides. It was a very fun project. I was excited about this one. I was pretty upset with myself that I didn't get to put everything into the project that was asked of me, but I was still learning. Some of the other generic behaviors that came in handy was, of course, the collisions for scoring, the instance to start up and go in a random direction was interesting, and that was my week 2 project for Pong. So in week 3 I was pretty excited because we could be a little bit more creative, I guess, go outside the the general instructions, create our own game. So you can see here my game's name was Farm Racers. You race farm animals to the finish line, and you have an ogre chasing you that if he captures you, it's game over. So there's 3 different modes to my game: easy mode, medium mode, pardon the grammar, and some controls, W, D, A, S. One thing that I did do with my game was I added controls for both characters, so the controls are the same. To me, it added elements of difficulty. So on this one, this is easy mode. You're racing both characters not only to the finish line, but you're trying to be wary of that ogre trying to capture you. And then you jump to a second mode that's a little bit more difficult. I added different speeds to the other characters. Of course, the ogre is still chasing you, and you gotta try to squeeze your way into the finish line. I was very worried that it might be similar to like a maze game, but I tried to make it as much as a racing aspect as I could. And there you can see I got caught by the ogre. The last screen, or the third screen, being the hardest difficulty. As you can see, there's a lot of speed added to the other characters, and they make it to the finish line faster than you, more times than any. So that was a pretty fun, exciting project. I got to use a lot of generic behaviors for that one. Some key presses and different load screens. So all in all, I was very excited.